Rosie here. My drama club is creating its own version of Romeo and Juliet. We're using a new setting and all new dialogue, and we're changing some of the scenes. I was researching Shakespeare's play, and I found out that what we're doing is very similar to how Shakespeare worked. William Shakespeare was one of the most inventive writers who ever lived. Does that mean he made up every single story, character, or detail that appears in his plays? Not at all. In fact, Romeo and Juliet existed in many versions written by others, poems and novellas, before Shakespeare wrote his play. Shakespeare often drew from both literary and informational sources. Sometimes he took big ideas, such as plots or historical subjects from earlier works. Sometimes he picked up small details, such as the name Titania, which comes from the poet Ovid and means from the Titans. Shakespeare adapted works by Greek and Roman writers. For example, he used the characters Lysander and Hermia in his comedy, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Lysander was a Greek general, and Hermia is named for the Greek god of dreams. He also used elements from English folk tales, European poems and legends, and historical works, some by Raphael Holinshed. For example, this version of the character Nick Bottom. Shakespeare didn't use the other texts word for word, though. He transformed characters and stories and made them distinctive. He also changed stories and even revised history to suit his artistic aims and to please his audiences. For instance, one of Shakespeare's patrons was King James, who claimed descent from Banquo, a mythical figure. In Macbeth, Shakespeare presents Banquo as a real person who will father a long line of wise, noble kings. For his sources, Shakespeare used stories and details that his audiences were familiar with. In doing so, he made use of the riches of his cultural history. And his amazing poems and plays have added to those riches. Maybe our version of Romeo and Juliet will add something new to the story. Here's to borrowing ideas to create something new.